right, everyone. It's another podcast night. I like to call it the podcast Friday, right? And tonight, Simon is here. Simon is my brother-in-law, and I thought it would be so good for this because even though he moved to the state when he was really young, he just have great memories from back home, and it's always interesting to hear. So, Simon, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, where you were born, and things that you remember from back home and how you got here to the state and, old memories of when you were here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was Simon
Yes.
Monzoy. So I started off as Monzoy, and my name is Simon, but I got to the States and they couldn't pronounce Monzoy. So then I went to Simon and
Yeah.
they started saying Simone. And so I got angry with that. So I said, forget it. Just call me Simon. It's easy. It's easy for everyone. It's,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
American proof. And so I've been going by Simon since. I
Yeah.
tried for a little bit in college to go back to Monzoy, but by then it was too late.
Yeah.
Everybody already knew me as Simon. So I'm Simon Kratzit,
Mm.
which is pretty crazy because uh, a lot of times when people hear me on the phone and then I show up and they look and they're like, "You're Simon
Hmm.
Kratzit from Congo?"
You don't look like a Kratzer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's who I am. I live in
Yeah.
Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Yeah. So basically, Simon, tell us where like where you were born, and um, I like the story you tell from back home. So maybe you can share one or two of those, and then you tell us about the transition of coming here.
Yeah, so I was born in Zaire, which is now the Democratic Republic of Congo, back in 1980, in Tondo, the Laktumba region. Um, spent not a majority, my early years there. So didn't even speak English until I was like 5 years old,
Mhm.
which made it extremely interesting when my parents brought us back over here when I was 5.
Um,
Um, yeah, so that's where my story started.
mhm.
My dad was a volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, went over and fell in love with my mom in Tondo, and they say it was love at first sight, and they've been yelling and arguing with each other since. And
I
so
see.
I think it is true love. They've weathered through all this, and continue to make sure that we understand where we came from and
Yeah.
understand the importance of family and what have you. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's my origin story.
Yeah.
That is Wow. so cool.
So okay, well, maybe do you have any story that you remember from back home?
I have plenty of stories that I remember from back home.
Before 5, that's a pretty good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of
So
my
the
favorite
story.
stories was, and this one's gonna hit you, Jill, in terms of stories, but I can't remember what year it was. I think it was like maybe 89, 88. And we'd been in the United States for a while, and we were going back to reunite with my older brother. And I do remember driving into the village and like get so excited to like see my older brother, which I barely remembered him at the time, but he was my yaya, and I remember showing up, and I would sing Yo Zali Yaya Nangae, and
That means you are my brother.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, my older brother, and
Yeah.
that was really special to me, like that
Oh.
entire period, because again, it was either 88 or 89 is when he started living with us permanently, and
Oh.
even to the point where we came back to the States and he flew over as a 14-year-old, and that's a completely different story because
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine
Well,
changing
now,
diapers at 14,
Yeah.
uh, a high school freshman at that.
Oh,
yes.
So I'd
wow.
always
Yeah.
admired him for just his courage, and yeah, that
Yeah.
was that was one of my stories from back home.
So that
Yeah.
when you moved, was it hard for you, English, or your dad was already getting to speak to you?
No, it was terrible
Yeah.
from the beginning, right? So when we moved back to Congo, I remember we had to have a tutor to keep us up on our English, and so
Mm.
um, the guy ended up being my school teacher as well. So I'd see the guy in the morning and he'd come over and we'd do tutorials or he'd tutor me in the morning and then I'd go to school and he'd be my teacher when I was at school. So
Oh,
um, it was difficult because even though he was trying to keep me up on my English, when I moved back to the States, they held me back a grade because I didn't know English. And
Yeah.
what?
so I went through
I
all that
wasn't.
pain for nothing.
I was
It
about to
was,
say, is it an English teacher from back home
yeah,
or a
it
real
was a
person
Congolese
that
guy.
speak English?
There was a
Because you've
Congolese
had
guy
some
that was
people.
there to teach English. And
Oh,
so yeah, he probably didn't know
yeah.
English that well
I know.
either.
That's what I say.
What languages did you speak before
So
you learned English?
So I do remember I knew Lingala, French, and then Lontomba I knew a little bit, and English came later on, and then I
Mm.
forgot everything but English and a little bit of Lingala.
And your dad spoke French?
No, he never spoke French, but
Mm.
all the schools that we went to, so we had to go to Belgium, private schools, and they were all taught in French, Belgian French, which is completely different than the French they speak in France, and so that made it difficult when I moved here because there were certain words that were acceptable in Belgian French
Mm,
that the French were like, that sounds not acceptable, and so
Hmm.
even though
Wow.
yeah, it was a weird
Interesting.
You had some
weird
language
transition.
battles.
I know.
Yeah,
It was. But
Because
his
French
dad
is
learned
long.
Lingala. His dad learned Lingala, so that's how he was able to
Interesting.
communicate.
Ah.
yeah.
Mm, yeah.
So, and do you speak Lingala to him?
I do not necessarily with him anymore. Like he's a lot better than I am at it, and so I don't speak with him all that often. But
Mm.
my mom, when she wants to talk shit, she talks in Lingala. So
He does.
yeah,
She
I
does.
think that I was watching this video yesterday. My son was watching, and this kid was talking about how the dad is so chill and so cool until he gets mad,
Mm.
and all the languages come out.
Hmm. You know what I mean?
Now English. So we know how to pull it out when we need to.
Yeah.
yeah,
And when you're mad, really your mother tongue, the first language you spoke, that's the one that comes out.
It's very
yeah,
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, because I
Because
scream
even
at people.
Simon, once he wants to say things, certain things, and he will say it in Lingala.
yeah. Well, it's when I'm not thinking about it, right? And so
Yeah.
if I'm not consciously thinking about what I want to say,
Mm.
I can speak it all day long. It's when I
Mm.
start to think, what does that
Okay.
word translate
Mm.
to?
Mm.
Huh.
There's so
The
many
brain
words
is
that just don't translate to anything, really. Like
Mm.
it's kind of a weird translation. So
hmm.
that's what gets me the most is, thinking through what word would that be and then second guessing myself on the word.
Mm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Wow.
And then you
Interesting.
landed.
Yeah,
Huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Were you getting picked on a lot or not? You didn't have to deal with that.
absolutely. No, every kid gets picked on, especially if you're different.
Uh,
So I got picked on when we were in Congo and, you'd have
oh,
to share that you weren't the person to get picked on. And
Oh,
oh,
they'd stop picking on you relatively quickly.
Mm.
oh,
Same thing in
geez,
the
you had
States.
no
Yeah. So
get picked on in
same thing
Congo
in
and then you come here get picked on. Oh, geez.
yeah. What was weird, I mean, it was a different experience because in Congo, I probably talk just like this and look just like this and I was different there and so
mhm.
I would get called out for looking different or being different.
Mm,
And then
mm,
I moved here and I still talk different, I still look different. My
Mm.
Yeah.
name was different when I moved over here and so yeah, it was much the same, but it was a little different because the um, over in Congo it was primarily they were all Congolese, and so
Yeah.
I was getting picked on by folks that they didn't realize that I was Congolese, and over
mm,
here in the States it was both the black kids and the white kids, like
mm.
they both went in and. Back in the 80s, early 90s, it was, African Booty Scratcher came out with
Hmm.
Boys in the
Mm.
Hood. So
Hmm.
that was always fun. But yeah, it's I think that I wouldn't say I got picked on so much because when I did get picked on, it ended pretty quickly. Like people knew that I wasn't the one to be picked on. Yeah,
Hmm.
You're fighting a lot.
yeah, just a little bit.
No, it's protecting. It's a self-defense. That's
Self-defense,
what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then the
That's
name
what I
themselves.
called it.
That's true.
And my mom would back me up on my self-defense philosophy,
Yeah,
and so
That's good.
I agree with all of you. The self-defense.
Yep.
yeah.
It's the self-defense. And then so you went to school in Iowa, or where was it?
No,
Where did
so
you come
I went to school in Indiana. So we moved back to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Mm.
It was I think 89, 90 time
from?
frame.
From Belgium to Indiana.
Yeah, so from Congo
No,
to
Congo.
Indiana, yeah.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, went to school in Indiana for a little bit, and then my dad's job, they transferred the plant from Indiana over to Toledo, Ohio, and so that
Mm.
was another transition because in Indiana I had my family, my dad's family there, and so um, they're all white from the United States, very tight knit. And when we moved to Toledo, Ohio, it was a bit of a shock because now my dad and mom really didn't know where we were moving into. And
Mm.
so we ended up going to inner city schools, which was a completely different experience than we had in Congo and in Fort Wayne.
Mhm.
So that was an interesting transition as well in my life. And so
Mhm.
um, yeah, it taught me a lot of valuable lessons.
Wow.
Oh.
you've had a lot of like it's almost like crash course. Every change is just like
Yeah.
hard change.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No
Mhm.
it's an
soft
interesting
landing.
change. Yeah. I remember winding up in Toledo, Ohio and going to lunch. And I'd sit there with the black kids and Raymond Brown, he was a classmate of mine, young African American dude. And Mr. Doe was the vice principal, and Mr. Doe would come over, and Raymond Brown would start saying, "What the fuck, Mr. Doe?" And I looked over at him because I'm in the fourth grade. Like we're in school. You shouldn't be talking to
Oh
the
gosh.
elders
Elder.
like that, especially the vice principal. And he's like, "Mr. Doe doesn't understand English."
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we moved. It was a very interesting transition, and I think in the first week of school, I ended up getting into a fight, and my two younger brothers were at the school, same school, and they came out and they're like, "Oh, there's a fight," and they walked out, and it was me and another student, and from that point, I didn't get into a fight at Reynolds or in elementary anymore. So, um, yeah, it was fun. It was it was different. Like it was completely different than what I knew. My dad being a white guy, driving into the hood so we could get haircuts and sticking around or showing up at basketball games and being the only white guy in the audience or in the stands was always interesting.
Oh my
Hmm.
Um,
gosh. I'm sure that was a different experience for him too.
Yeah.
Imagine.
absolutely. Yeah. They asked him to referee one night. And all of a sudden, all
Oh.
the parents started yelling at him, and he took off the the whistle and like, I am not doing this. Get some other dad to do this. I don't get paid enough for this.
Goodness.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
oh no. Okay. It's so I can, like when you go through those moments in life as a kid and then you try to make, I don't know if you ever did that, like go home and try to be like, well, mom and dad, this is what's going on. And, they kind of like figure it out. But I feel like now it's a little bit different.
Not
People,
necessarily. So my mom is a major enabler in my life. She always has been. I think she always will be. And so even back then, if there was anything going on, she'd be like, "All right, let's who did this? Let's take care of this." And so, um, yeah, my mom has always been in my corner. I've never
yeah.
been able to do anything wrong in my mother's eyes, which is amazing. Back to when I was in Zaire, when we moved back, and they put me, we were in this private school, this Belgian school, Le Pigeon.
Mm,
And the first couple days in class, like you see the teacher hitting the kids on the knuckles with
mm,
his
Yeah.
ruler. Kids are standing up against the wall. And I thought to myself, it's only a matter of time before that's me.
That's your turn.
And I'm not gonna let this dude
That happened.
torture me like this, right? I think they were waterboarding a few kids in the back. Like it was
What?
terrible. No, not
Oh,
that bad.
oh,
That was a joke.
Listen, hey,
Hey, it's possible.
Yeah.
listen. It's just that you didn't see it happen. That's all.
But I remember, standing right by the gate, and the second a parent or somebody came through the gate, I snuck through and ran home.
Oh,
And I told my mom, like, "Hey, mom, like, there's no, like, they're torturing kids back there." And the amazing thing about my mother and just the support and the love that she's always showed us, she went with my father to pull my two younger brothers out of the same school system, which was across town, because I was like, this is not a good situation for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so then we had to go to the other Belgian school where my teacher was also my English tutor. And then I started questioning my decision to run away
To
from that.
move schools.
you're like, I should have just got the picture.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
your
I
mom
had to,
sounds amazing.
yeah, she absolutely
Yeah, she
was.
is.
Yeah, she's a huge enabler, and so
She
I,
is.
I think that's
I
that's
think
great.
till now,
Yeah, she's still
you
enablers.
know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, she really has that you know, I'll stand with my family against everybody else. I do not
mm,
care if they're wrong, but I will talk to them later. But in front, you have a
Yeah.
problem with me if you have a problem with family. So that's definitely her motto.
I
So
like her
yeah, oh,
already.
geez.
Mm.
There's
Mhm.
been several times when I know I was in the wrong, and she'd walk in and defend me. I'm like, yes. Or
Are you like that?
my dad was the opposite, just to get that out there. So we had,
Uh,
a
Mm.
completely different relationship with my father. And
That's
so
why you go to mom.
Yeah.
absolutely.
What
Dad
are
was
you? Are you
me.
like that with your kids?
Uh, I probably enable them way more than I should. So yeah,
Mm.
I would imagine so.
You learned from the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
My kids are my kids. I'm going to stand up for my kids, and I'm going to defend my kids till the end. If
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have a teacher this year, and my son's a junior, if he gets into trouble this year with a teacher or with anything else, that
Mm.
teacher is going to be forgot about in 10 years, but my son is still going to be my
My
son. And,
son,
Mm.
we're
exactly.
still going to have
It's a good
memories, and
point.
we're still going to go through things together. And this person is going to become a memory within
Hmm.
a couple years. So yeah,
mm.
absolutely. I learn from the best.
True.
Yeah,
True
that is
story.
true.
So
That
what
is
did you
true.
learn in school?
What did you do study?
Oh,
Oh,
in
yeah,
in
study,
college
sorry.
or in what school? What?
In college, yeah. So you went through the inner city schools, right?
I did,
And
and then
all the way to college.
my parents put me into an all boys Catholic high school, and
Oh,
so
Oh,
yeah, that was an interesting transition. I remember going in my first week as a freshman, and I looked like a black Mormon. Like I I looked ridiculous, and I felt ridiculous. And so after the first week, it was like, Mom and Dad, I'm gonna get picked on if I continue to look like this, right? Like, and so that was an interesting transition. But from there, I went to Anderson University and studied marketing and
Mm,
economics, business.
which
mm,
university did you say?
Anderson University in
That
Anderson, Indiana.
in Indiana. Okay.
hmm.
Yeah, played soccer there. Met some really good friends there. My two younger brothers ended up going to Anderson as well. So the one that's right underneath me, Eddie, I was able to play with him in both high school as well as college. And
Oh,
then
nice.
Eddie played with me, and then Manny as well, the youngest brother, both in high school and then college. And so yeah, we graduated and started our lives in central Indiana from
mm,
that point.
mm,
So you did marketing
Economics.
and economics. I was just
Yeah.
trying to think all those changes that you had in life, like how they did they harden you? I thought you'd be like in sales or something, because I mean you take
mm.
all kinds of environments and everything at so much change.
Yeah, no. So in high school, I thought I wanted to really become an investment banker, like I was going to go work on Wall Street, and
Mm,
that's kind of the the thought pattern, go study finance and then, go grind away for years. And um, so when I got to college, I started studying marketing and forgot about the whole Wall Street thing until a little later on. And economics was an interesting study because it was kind of like the science of business. And so you got to learn political science. You got to see how certain things impacted other things without really ever thinking about it on a macro or micro scale. Economics was an interesting study for me. As you look at Christ and what he taught and everything that Christianity is, it's pretty much socialism. And to sit there and be like, so why does socialism really not work? Was a question that I continue to ask, and got to the point where it's human nature, right? And so we all kind of have certain tendencies, and just enjoyed the science of economics and how things interact with each other, especially in business.
Yeah.
I did go into sales after that, and so yeah,
I know when you said that, I was like,
yeah, I've
It
been,
just feels like the personality would work because in sales you gotta have thick skin.
yeah,
I almost feel like you've been built with all this you had to deal with to where you're like, nah, just throw it at me, I got it.
yeah. I mean, the sun continues to come up, the world continues to go around,
See?
and at the end of
That's
the day, it's not the focus isn't on us, like it's the things that happen around us, and continuing to appreciate the fact that life is going to continue with or without us, and so why not enjoy it and be a part of it while it's happening.
Interesting. So what do you do now currently?
So right now I'm a founder of a startup, pretty much selling all day long, and so I sell myself. I sell an idea, and so we don't have a product quite yet, and so it's still an idea phase. Working with a colleague of mine that I met at Roche Diagnostics, which is a completely different story. So I got into applied science after all the business, and learned microbiology and cell biology and proteomics, and so got to meet some really interesting people in that field. One of which is my current partner, Sergey. I think he's my dad's age, Russian guy, studied at University of Moscow and got his PhD in biochemical engineering. And he had a patent where, in the lab setting, you use a lot of pipette tips to move liquid from point A to point B. And so a lot of pipetting is happening on a daily basis. And so basically what we're doing is we're taking the liquid that you move and putting it into the pipette tips. And so you don't have to, do all this repeat motion and what have you. And so I've been raising money for that venture. And then, also, doing things that I need to do in order to survive. And so working as a business development representative for a software company that is currently offering policy management software with AI-enabled tools on the back end. And so if you work in a very highly regulated industry like nursing or, hospitals or what have you, manufacturing, the AI tool can find gaps in your policies and help you fill those gaps relatively quickly. So doing sales and business development for those folks, and you know um, working for myself as well as just continuing to do what I can to make sure that there's food on the table and
yeah.
lights in the
Wow.
house.
Let's back up a little bit. So when you graduated,
Yeah,
you got directly into sales?
I did. So in marketing, they told you had to get sales experience in order to be a good marketer.
Yeah.
Which was a load of crap. Uh, but so I went and I wanted to get sales experience, and so I went to ADT Security Services and sold home security alarm systems. Was my first job out of college, and that was an interesting job as well because during the summer months it's great. People buy security alarm, people spend, but then you start getting closer to Christmas and all of a sudden security alarms are no longer the focus. And
Mhm.
from there, decided to jump ship, and that's when I went to Roche Diagnostics and started working in diabetes care and got into the sciences.
Oh. So I was just trying to connect your marketing and economics to that transition. And the only reason I sometimes I get nitty-gritty is for anyone who's doing that and just for them to figure out how they can navigate, like a job hunt and opportunities and what they can apply and if there needs to be a connection in the first place.
Absolutely. So I think that one of the biggest things is networking is a contact sport.
Mm,
But a lot of times, and everybody hears this, but it's not what you know, it's who you know. And even to the point where these really powerful, big, expensive schools, you gain access or you go to these schools so that you
mhm,
can meet other people that can then connect you outside of school. And so
mhm,
it's all about networking, not being afraid to ask for help. I
mhm,
think that that's a huge thing, especially for anybody getting started. And not pretending like like I'm still learning right now. And so, even at 45, I'm learning and continuing to ask for help, continuing to ask and continuing to build on, whatever it is I may have learned in the past that, may need sharpening. And so
mhm,
I think that anybody that is going from, marketing or, learning business or anything like that, uh, the biggest advice that I could give is you got to jump out there and just do it. Just
mm,
it's scary, but life
yeah,
is
Yeah.
scary, right? Like everything you go through is going to be kind of scary,
yeah.
and you're going to have those moments of awkwardness, but without throwing yourself into those moments of awkwardness, you're not going to know what the possibilities are. You're
Mm,
not going to know that because you did this, you're still going to be there. Like
mhm.
people are still going to support you and love you and continue to be around you no matter what. And so, um, that was a little long-winded, but I hope I answered.
I like long-winded because we collect nuggets in those long-winded answers.
But
Um,
that's how I feel like I mean, and you don't have to talk about your first startup because this is just your second startup, right?
Yeah, there's been many startups
Yeah.
in that whole string of things, and
And I've been very successful, I think.
yeah, I've learned a lot from them. And
Yeah.
that's basically where my philosophy comes from. Is during COVID, I decided that I was gonna make money for myself, which was scary. But that led me to a path where I was, supporting labs in Jamaica, Montego Bay, and Nassau, and got to meet business people from the Caribbean, and worked on some really interesting opportunities, across the globe. I was working with a lab in South Africa, biotech South Africa, another lab in Berlin. Had a few labs in Southern California, and
Mhm.
uh, Jill came to support me both in the operations here, which I had in Durham, as well as some business that we had going on in Vegas. And so,
Vegas. Yes.
um, and I learned so much through that opportunity, more than I ever learned in school. And so I look back and I'm like, if I would have just done this out of school, I would have known so much more so much earlier.
Mhm.
But it's a matter of you just going through it, and um, things
Mhm.
happen when they're supposed to happen. And
yeah.
so,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. I think it was a
I
great
agree.
a great time. I mean, I enjoyed working in a startup because it was different. You feel like the only thing I'm mad though, you never took me to Jamaica, but that's another story. However, however, Vegas was really good.
Jamaica was fun.
Yeah, but
Jamaica
I
was
didn't
interesting
never
'cause
get to go. But I think it was interesting to learn, today you may see this company sitting there, but there's really people in the back that's working days and night. And, he's my brother-in-law. So now I had him as my boss and I respected him as my boss. And I think you did a great job at it. And just the fact that to even try that, like it was scary, but it was also great to go through that and to see how many people you were able to reach through that process. So, I think it's something that you take on and you add as a little medal to your vest because it's part of who you are today.
Absolutely.
So what was the startup again? I think I missed what that one.
Yeah, so I created a reagent company where I was selling the collection kits during COVID. So whether it was the viral transfer media and or some type of molecular transfer media with the swab
Mm-hmm.
that got shipped back to the lab. But then I also had relationships
Mm-hmm.
where I was selling the actual PCR kits, and so the master mix or the reagents that ran PCR tests. And so we would collect samples from, I had a lab in Montego Bay. So anybody that was flying in or out of the country would have to get tested and test negative in order to leave the country. And there's a lot of Canadians that love that country. And so they kept coming. And so, yeah, so I would sell that as well as the equipment. So help set up some labs, like I said, in Nassau as well, to help test the tourists, and got
Mhm.
involved with a couple different organizations that offered the passports. And so
Mhm.
before they came out with the COVID cards,
Cards, yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
they're allowing people to show, the fact that they passed on certain
Mhm.
apps, and got to work with a few of those companies, and yeah, ran a lot of COVID tests.
A lot.
Until Joe Biden said, COVID is over, and at that point, the writing was kind of on the wall, and so
Yeah.
started to transition and looking at the reagent company that I built, and that's when I got together with Sergey. So Sergey was the director of biology in the Indiana State Lab, and so he was running COVID tests for the state of Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought him over to my organization to help with the laboratory operations, SOPs, just making sure that we were compliant with everything that we need to be compliant with. And he shared his idea and shared the fact that he was pretty close to getting a patent, and so transitioned my energy from that business over into Next Step Ready, and getting ready to launch this new product that I believe is going to revolutionize the way that work is done in laboratories. And so a lot like what the Keurig K Cup did with coffee, or did for coffee,
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do for the reagent and laboratory business. And so there's a lot of tips that are used out there on an annual basis, and so I'm pretty excited about it.
Sure.
Well,
That's
I'll
awesome.
check in with my husband. He works in a lab, so I'll
Yeah,
see. A few years, be like, have you received this thing? You feel like it's revolutionized things?
yeah, it will. Like, I
That's
mean,
exciting.
yeah.
Yes.
So I'm sitting here thinking, what do you need to start a startup? Like where do I even start? If I'm sitting here thinking, I have this great idea,
Mm.
where the heck do I start?
So validating the idea, talking to your peers and making sure that other people also think that it's a pretty good idea. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
at first, it's probably going to start with a small group of people that you really trust. And if that idea is as solid as you think it is, then you take a look and you start to think about how you protect that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you protect the idea, then you start thinking about, how you would go about commercializing and bringing that idea to life.
What's protect? When you say protect, what does that mean?
Making sure you have attorneys that are
Okay.
looking and making sure that the patents are that the product and the intellectual property is solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing, and so making sure that nobody else out there has had the
Mm-hmm.
same idea, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of times where we think we have the best idea ever, and then come to realize somebody did it
Somebody
15
else
years
have it.
ago, and and
Been out there
it's
for
staying
years.
somewhere, so yeah. Yeah, so just I would say that a startup is it's not for the weak. Like, not many
Mm-hmm.
people can go through the grind of being a founder. It takes a special kind of person. And so you know if I was to give advice, again, try it when you're young, and see if the pressure is something that you're able to take, because it is a lot of pressure. like Jill was saying, to see the amount of people that actually counted on me on a regular basis for, their paychecks and their
Yeah.
meals, keeping the lights on, and these people's lives were in my hands. And so it was like not just my family that I had to think about at that point, but the employees that I
People,
was
yeah.
employing and the people that counted on me to make sure that I was doing the right thing so that the business would continue to be strong. And so that was a huge just a lot of pressure. And I don't know that um I don't know that everybody's cut out to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I always love hearing stories about Steve Jobs and this person and that
Yeah.
person and the other person. You're like, hold on, those were special individuals, right? And
Mm.
just making sure that this is something that you'd be passionate about to make sure that it continues, because you're gonna have to you're gonna have to go through some pretty tough times.
Mm.
I think Elon Musk described it as, eating glass and looking into the abyss and not knowing what's going to happen,
Mm.
That
being
sounds
okay with
so
that.
terrible.
I know.
Yeah, but after going to
That's what it is.
school at Le Pigeon, coming back and going to Reynolds and then going to an all boys school, I mean, this is pretty cake. So
You see what I was saying?
Yeah,
His previous life prepared him for
you
eating
didn't
glass
even
and
know.
staring down at the abyss and be
yeah,
comfortable with it.
yeah.
I th- yeah, I think I wonder, especially like you say, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, right? It's like you have this idea and I guess the passion of it and being able to sell it every time. Because I'm
Mm.
sure sometimes you could doubt yourself, like, am I really like, what was I thinking?
Oh, I
But
doubt
then
myself all
you
the time.
already have like 100 people. You have 100 people behind you that are like, yeah, go for it. And so you have to keep that face on and you have to be
Mhm.
like, yes, we got this. We have to continue.
Yeah.
So I can imagine what was your strategy to get through those tough times?
Um, and so I think, again, with the patent that we have and the patents that we're developing, it's a fairly solid idea. And
Mm.
looking at the numbers, really. And so, there's 12 billion pipetting events in the US alone on an annual basis. You take
Wow.
fractions of pennies off of that. That's a pretty good living for anybody.
Mm,
And then you throw reagents on top of that number, and the the number gets pretty large. And I know that you have to get there, but even having the opportunity to look at a business that is this large is an honor. I think,
Yeah.
in the course of my career, even when I was, running my businesses with Jill, I never saw an opportunity that was quite this large. And so, I think always looking at the end game and knowing what's possible and just continuing
Mhm.
to grind away, right? And so, like I
grinding.
said, it's interesting because, yeah, I doubt myself probably a good 3-4 times a day. Like, you got to be
That's
stupid to be doing
it.
this. Like, I made so much money in my previous career. Like,
Mm,
why would I even want to take this on? And
mm,
just the pressure of all the things that you start to think, whether it's the insecurity of what people might think of you,
mm,
or the fact that there's a lot of insecurity. What would happen if something like
Mhm.
this failed, right? And
Yeah.
so,
mm,
um, I like to look at it and think that I'm approaching this with the same smarts, the same attitude, the same person that's approached all the other things that I've approached in my life, and I've been
Mhm.
able to figure those things out. And so,
Mm.
chances are I'll be able to figure this out. It may not be, the way that I thought it was going to be at the beginning, but I'll continue to survive and continue to trust in myself,
mm.
trust in who I am, and you know, hope for the best.
All right. Yeah.
Tell me a bit about funding. How do you go about navigating funding a startup?
So funding is interesting, and so family and friends typically is the first phase. But even before you get to family and friends, like, there's so many different types of startups. Whether you're looking at a small business and just wanting to do an LLC,
Mhm.
and or you want to go and do a C corp and raise funds and sell stock and get into securities and the SEC and everything that comes with with selling a company or selling an idea or selling certificates, more or less selling notes.
Hmm.
And so basically what you do is you start, and you have to start with the end in mind, right? So what is the end goal of the thing that you're looking to do? Do you want to take it public? Do you want to sell it off to some big corporation? How big do you see this thing getting? Do you need institutional money in the end or towards the end to help you reach your goals? Or are you looking to, maybe do something a little bit smaller, like a Papa John's or some other type of
Yeah.
franchise uh, deal, right? And so, there's a lot of different ways that you can take a look at an organization. An LLC and the formation of the organization is extremely important, especially at the beginning with understanding tax codes and making sure you understand what each organization's benefits and both pros and cons. Like if I do it this way, this is the pro, this way is the con, like, and measuring those things out, but also having good advisors and being able to take feedback and understand when you need to pivot relatively quickly. But funding is interesting. So family and friends, I raised roughly about 135K with family and friends.
I
And
need to
then
know your family and friends.
yeah, they're,
Just
they're
like
amazing.
You know
Amazing
one of them,
people.
but she doesn't have that money.
Yeah,
the one that I know has yet to give me puff puffs.
I was
Well,
about
she
to say,
did give me puff
make sure you
puffs.
tell her it's not coming from me.
yeah. Yeah, but a lot has come from you, Jill. Like, I mean, during this period, if you think about support, and as I continue to say, like, you need a team behind you
Yeah.
for those days when I feel defeated. And my sister-in-law is like, you were the best boss ever. Like, get back out there and
Oh.
just continue to do it. Like, it
Oh.
just kind of it gives you a boost of energy knowing that the people that know you the best also believe in you, and they send me money from time to time, and I
We
really
keep you
do
grounded
appreciate.
too.
What was that?
I say we keep you grounded. We'll have family gathering and he'll be on his phone. We'll be like, get off the phone. This is not the time. Okay.
Yeah. Even though she knows and it never ends. But yeah,
True,
absolutely. So
true.
um
Wow.
family and friends, and then in terms of finding different type of backers, like it's it's um it's an interesting game. And so I would say that uh, the earlier you start to familiarize yourself with like angel networks or funding sources, different funding mechanisms, whether it be the government, Small Business Administration has grant opportunities out there for folks that are looking to test an idea out or get an idea of what it is to start a business or to have a startup. There's a lot of different organizations out there too, like
Mm.
very good non-for-profit organizations. And so here we have, First Flight Ventures in the Triangle, and they offer different type of what do you call it? Cohorts or space for
Oh.
folks to try their idea out, and they'll give
Mhm,
coaching and different courses and what have you. And so
mhm,
there's a lot, but it's a lot of again, just networking and continuing to try to figure out what works best for you and your idea and what it
mhm.
is you're trying to build.
Mm.
Wow.
I love watching Shark Tank. So you're just making me think
I
of Shark
know,
Tank.
that's
And
true, yes.
just imagining you walking in going, "Du-du-dum." Let me tell you, I watch Shark Tank 24 hours a day. I could.
Yes.
And I want to see you on Shark Tank, sir.
Right?
Absolutely not. So that's what I'm saying. Like Shark Tank takes a lot of your equity away, and they
They do.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
I
do.
think
Yeah.
NBC like takes a chunk before you even get put on air, and then
Oh.
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm,
So
No way.
absolutely. So you got to think about starting a business or having a great idea is there are sharks that are
out
everywhere
there.
and are swimming.
Mhm.
I've swam with the sharks, and it's an interesting just environment out there because uh, people don't have your interest or
Yeah.
your best
Yes.
interests in mind when they
Mhm.
come and want to help you. And so always being aware of what it is that you're giving up for what it is that you're getting, right? And so it's a tricky back.
Balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure, that's somebody else's business model, right? Get a little piece of different things from people
True.
who have the idea, because you have the money, you don't have the ideas.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's
Honestly, I think
True.
like Shark Tank is in like, I don't know, their whatever season, 15th, 20th,
I
whatever
know it's
season.
been
Can
there
you
forever.
imagine
Yeah.
how much of a little bit of everything they have from all those people?
mm.
I didn't know NBC also. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Everybody
They take the network takes a chunk before you even step foot on air. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
know
sometimes
that.
you have to do it, right? Like sometimes
exactly.
you have to
What you
make
have to
deals
do.
with the sharks in
True.
order to
Yeah.
get your idea to where you want it to get. But there's a lot of times too where founders, just make the wrong decisions, the wrong deals, and in the end, they get left with very little while everybody else gets rich off their ideas. So,
True.
That's the McDonald's story, by
yeah,
the way.
Mm.
Yeah. The founders were left with almost nothing.
yeah,
Yeah, it was very sad.
terrible. But that's sharks, right? So you talk about
Yeah.
shark. They call it Shark Tank for a reason.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's true.
Those
It's
guys
a
know a
wonderful
lot more
honesty.
than what investors know that are coming in, and
Yeah.
they're going to try to get every they're going to try to take every advantage that they can to
That
make
they
sure that
can.
the deal is the best for them.
Huh.
So Simon, with all the stuff that you have going on, how do you balance, how do you maintain like the balance between the work and then just your personal life and self-care and your family?
That's a good question. To tell you the truth, I don't know. You know, I oftentimes look at it and I'm like, I'm surprised I haven't lost my mind yet, right? Like it's a lot. But I think that again, it's a matter of the support, right? And so I know that my family has my back. I love spending time with my grandchild. I love spending time with my children and seeing them grow up, and spending time with my wife, extended family like Jill, my brothers. They always are there when I need them to be there. Jill is like, "Hey, get off the phone," but even those times when, they see me and I just kind of look a little defeated, they're the first ones that come over and, they like, hey, snap out of it. And,
Aw.
let's go hang out or do something fun. And so, I think, for me, it's just having the right people, around me, right? Like knowing that the people I have around me love me and want the best for me, really, continues to fuel me to do what I'm trying to do, what I'm doing, and making sure that I do the best, because if I win, we all win, right? And so I hope they know that.
Great Christmas presents.
Yeah. I didn't think you liked my Christmas presents.
I did.
Oh, that's funny. That's nice. That's really good to hear, though. I was excited. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody who's had a startup and a successful startup.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Well, that's a lie because of Tamasha.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But in terms of the grandeurs, I guess, of it, whatever that word is.
Yeah, because he was traveling, like I said, different places and stuff. So it was interesting. It was an interesting time.
You're about to piss up some people. The manufacturer of the pipettes, they're about to get pissed off at you, aren't they?
Not necessarily, because we want to work with them, and we've approached a few, and the one that we ultimately work with will probably be pretty happy.
Oh, so do they still keep the pipettes? It's just the
Yeah, so basically what we're doing is just taking two industries and bringing them together.
Okay.
So like if you think about the coffee filters and the coffee beans, and then just put it in one, making it so it tastes the same every single time, and that it's consistent, and you don't have to worry about it going bad or what have you. So
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Why don't we think about these things, people?
I know.
Girls, come on.
We thought about a
We
podcast.
did.
Here we are.
Yes, you're
There
right.
you go.
Thanks to Birmo. Let me tell you something. We would not be here. We keep saying
Thanks
it.
to all of us. I wouldn't do it
girl.
myself.
She's a go-getter. She's an entrepreneur herself. I don't know if she
She
talks
doesn't
about
know.
it.
She doesn't know it yet,
I've
huh?
been I've
Oh,
been
she knows it.
hibernated a little bit, but I feel like I'm ready to get out of my hibernation. I had a moment
Wow,
where it was just down.
you have
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
role model right there. So I
I
expect to see
do. It's
this
great.
soon.
Listen, whenever the pipette goes up, I'll be like, just put my picture on the podcast. I'll be back. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No way. I'll do it from wherever.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned a
Wow.
lot today, I have to say, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I have to figure out to get my friends to give me that kind of money.
I
This
know.
country, they
It's
eat
a
with
challenge. I
me.
mean,
Start with the idea, Shiro. Don't start with the funding.
Exactly.
yeah. But I mean, if you think about the money, like
Yeah,
money comes with responsibility, right? And
it
so you
does.
have to make sure that you're ready to receive the money and do the things that you need to do with the money
With
to
it, yeah.
That's
advance
good.
the
Yeah.
cause. And so
Yeah.
um and that's where, as you take a look at the funding strategy, you get into business with the wrong people, and all of a sudden, you're
Mm,
answering to people that you may not necessarily get along with. And so it's always important to keep a clear distinction on, what it is that you're giving for what it is that you're getting, and
Yeah.
from who.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very true.
Ah, guys, that was nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Simon, for your
I
time.
know. That
Yes.
We're
was,
definitely wishing you luck. Yeah, it looks like we're getting close to the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We
thank
are
you guys.
inspired.
We are inspired. Do you have like a website somewhere we can, or later maybe there'll be one? I don't know.
Yeah, we're working on the website now. I got a pitch. It's called Launch Deck. It's where our pitch deck sits, and so
Mm,
we're raising money with a group out of Raleigh, Hyperspace Ventures. They were a investor in us as well, and so I can send that. And then once the website is ready, it's down for construction right now, but
yeah.
it's just nextstepready.com. As far as investing, you have to be a qualified investor to put money in things like this. And so,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'll share the site, but know that not everybody is a qualified investor when it comes time to looking at an opportunity and saying, this is something that I want to jump into.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you could share with us some of those uh programs or
Qualification.
organizations,
Mhm.
and we can link them for anybody who's maybe is thinking of a startup and they have an idea at least where to start to get a mentor or whatever.
Absolutely. And like I said, if you're in school, that's the best
Mm.
place to start testing any of this stuff out. And once you get out of school, you're broke anyway. So it's time to figure
Start
out how to
paying
do
those
something
student
else.
loans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was nice to meet everyone. I appreciate you guys having me on. I hope I didn't talk too much,
No,
Yes.
there's not
That's
enough
amazing.
time.
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
with all the camera movements. And
That was fun.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you
so
so much,
much.
Simon.
Yeah.
thank you guys. Have a
Bye.
good night.
Thank you.
You
Bye.
too.
There's a book I really like called How to Be a Person, and I give it to the kids in my life, like teenagers,
Hmm.
like 12 to 14, 15. It has so many things like how to do laundry, how to do your budget, and I love that book because I'm like, some
How
things,
to be a person.
yeah,
Huh.
how to be a person. I love that book, and I wish I had read it when I first came to the US. I feel like it would have been very helpful, because you are a complete person before you move, but you are just in a very different environment, and the
Mm.
things that are required of you are very different, right? And
Right.
also, you were a child in that environment that you were in. You never had to be an adult, right? Like for me, I moved when I was 18. I had worked for a little bit, but I had never had like bills and really things that I'm supposed to do, really. So it was like, whoo.